All right, guys, this is the last video for the digestion unit. I'm going to try to zip through this as quickly as possible. This is going to be nutrition. So, why do we eat? I know that you are probably thinking so that we can get calories, which is not false, but we also need to get other stuff from our food. So we need the organic building blocks that are used to construct the macromolecules in our cells. So for example, in order to make proteins, we need to get amino acids. Our bodies can make some amino acids, but not all of them. So we can eat the amino acids in order to either get the ones we can't make or be a little more efficient and not have to make ones that we're going to use. Obviously, of course, we need to gain chemical energy, so that's calories, and we'll talk about that in a moment. And we also need to get essential nutrients that maintain health. So this is like vitamins and minerals, and we'll talk about those as well. So energy, first of all. A calorie is the energy required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree Celsius. We usually measure our food intake in kilocalories, which we use a capital C to distinguish that. So 1 kilocalorie equals 1,000 little c calories, but 1 big C calorie. Metabolic rate is the rate at which all of your chemical reactions occur. Once again, the rate at which your chemical reactions occur in your body. And there are different measurements of metabolic rate. So because your metabolism is going to change depending on what you're doing. So your BMR, or your basal metabolic rate, is the minimum rate of energy consumption under resting conditions. So if somebody's just basically not doing anything, how many calories would be burned? So an average adult female is going to have between 1,300 and 1,500 kilocalories per day. And an average adult male will usually burn between 1,600 and 1,800 kilocalories per day. So anything that you do on top of that, walking around, playing sports, taking a test, learning about calories, is going to add energy on top of that. But as you can see, most of the energy that we expend for sort of a normal person is primarily just spent in our basal metabolic rate. Of course, if you eat more calories than you use, you'll store that excess energy. You'll store it as both glycogen and, of course, as fat. All right, essential nutrients. So these are substances that are required for health, but that our body cannot manufacture. The fact that we cannot manufacture them is what makes them essential. Different organisms will have different essential nutrients because they can all manufacture different things. The essential nutrients come in 4 different categories. So first of all, amino acids. There are 8 essential amino acids in adults, 9 in infants. We gain the ability to make one of those as we grow up. This can be all 8 of these can be gotten in full by animal-based foods, which would include not only actual meat, but things like milk and eggs, or by combining certain plants. So for example, corn and beans or rice and beans will give you all 8 essential amino acids. Of course, we need these for protein synthesis because that's what proteins are made out of. The next category is essential fatty acids. There are 2 types. They are fully provided by plants, so you can have a plant-based diet and get all of the fatty acids that you need. We need these, of course, in order to synthesize lipids, such as phospholipids, because that's one of the things that phospholipids and other lipids are made of. Vitamins are our next category. So there are 13 essential vitamins that we have to eat and our body cannot make. I've got vitamin D over here. So vitamins are, you need to write this in the blank after vitamins. They are organic substances that our body needs in order to perform all of the required cellular reactions. Some vitamins are water soluble, for example, vitamins B and C. Some are fat soluble, A, D, E, and K. We can make enough D, vitamin D, if we have adequate sun exposure. Our body can make like a preliminary form of vitamin D, but we have to spend some time in the sun for it to be changed into the usable form. So it's considered an essential nutrient, but under the right circumstances, we can make all of it that we need. So vitamins are needed for various reactions and processes. For example, some of them are coenzymes. Minerals are inorganic essential nutrients, and there are 10 essential minerals, things like iron for hemoglobin, calcium for bones. So they're needed for just various processes and structures in our bodies. And typically, you do not need to take a vitamin and mineral supplement or any other kind of supplement. If you eat a varied diet, you're going to get all of your essential nutrients. So a question that I've had in the past is, can you overdose on essential vitamins and minerals? So most water-soluble vitamins are just going to leave in your pee. So if you do something like you take a vitamin C pill, your body is probably not going to be able to use an extremely high dose of vitamin C, and you essentially have just made some really expensive vitamin C loaded pee. But if you take really large amounts, there are some water-soluble vitamins that can cause a little bit of damage to your body. Fat-soluble vitamins are not going to be flushed out with your urine because, once again, they're fat-soluble. So instead, they get stored in your body fat. So the fat cells in your body will kind of get loaded up with these extra fat-soluble vitamins if you take a whole bunch of them. In high enough amounts, they can be toxic, but you would have to take quite large amounts of these. Excessive amounts of any mineral can be harmful. So iron, calcium, any of those things, if you take too much of it, it can harm you. And remember that part of the definition of vitamins and minerals is that they are needed in small amounts. So there are lots of fads that suggest you need to take massive doses of something in order to boost your immune system, or whatever kind of thing that they're trying to sell you. That is typically not the case. If you just eat a varied diet, you will get everything you need, and you don't need any of these things in large amounts. So this is a table that you can just look over. It is from your book. You don't have to memorize these. These are just a list of different vitamins and how they are used in the body. And then it also shows you how you can get them and what would happen if you didn't have enough of them. These things you don't have to memorize them, but you do have to eat all of them so that you don't get any of these symptoms. Okay, that concludes the nutrition lecture. Be sure that you read some in your book in this section as well.